General quarters, all hands man your battle stations.
Broadcasting live on WNN 1470 AM, 95.3 FM, iHeartRadio, and the World Wide Web. This is Make America Think Again with your Google Blacklisted host, Tom Trento.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. No, Will Robinson. Danger.
Yeah, danger.
There is danger.
Danger in the air. Hi, Tom Trento here, 9:04 in the morning on the 6th of November, 2020. Welcome to the Psychotherapy Hour.
Yes.
We're gonna
Definitely.
We're gonna continue our conversation that Susie Gold, my co-host here.
Good morning, everybody.
Watching on theunitedwest.org, you can see Susie and myself. Is it Susie and me or Susie and I?
It's supposed to be I, right?
Susie and I. No, Susie and me. Yeah, it would be I.
No,
It's
Susie
I.
and me. It's me. It's me or it's I. It would be me.
How about it's Tom and Susie?
Tom and Susie. Yeah.
and I.
It's you
We're right
guys.
here.
And I.
It's yous guys. And Midwest Mary, who used to be from the Midwest, but now she's in Georgia.
Georgia Peach.
Georgia? Did I say Georgia?
Oh my God! Lots of excitement in Georgia.
We're gonna get to Georgia in a minute, and we got J. Mark here. We're missing Anthony.
Where's Anthony today? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So, and we're missing Damon.
Well,
Are we missing Damon?
No, he's somewhere. He's definitely in America.
We are missing Damon on Jumpin' Juma Freaky Friday, but that's not today. Jumpin' election freaky voting is what it is. We're gonna let, this is a little different show today. We're gonna bring you into our quandary, our dilemma, our mindset, because we're struggling with what the next step is. We are an activist organization, which means we do stuff, and it's extremely frustrating. And I mean, this is a big doing stuff. I'm playing with a microphone here. It's a very big way of doing stuff, but we also like to do other stuff and get out there and confront and whatever. And
make an impact, a positive impact.
Sometimes we don't see the forest, the trees in the forest, because we're so close to it. With the microphone, we have a big impact. For sure.
We'll give our listeners, Tom, an update of what's going on and where we're at as far as how our decision, Georgia and all that other stuff.
Well, the angle that I want to have the listeners and viewers experience is the quandary that we're in, because I think the majority of Americans, particularly pro-Trump people, are in that. Some of the conversations we were having before the show, I want to get those out and let you experience what we're experiencing. And these aren't easy answers to figure out. What do we do? What do we do before speaking about it here? Do we mobilize thousands of people to go somewhere and do something? I mean, maybe not. Who knows? But what I have as a big idea, we always like to couch and encapsulate the show in a general idea that is significant, that you can learn something as we go through the information here. And I've written down in big letters, fight. And then I have in parentheses, win or lose. And then big letters again, fight. So that means we have to fight right now. And we're gonna try to figure out what fight means. And then win or lose, because somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. Not going to have a co-presidency. That's not going to happen. And then either way, whether or not President Trump wins, we're going to be fighting like hell for the next 4 years, because these people are going to be nuts.
Right.
We're going to be defending an effort where he probably won't have the popular vote, so they're going to go crazy over that. So we're going to be fighting. Or if we lose, then we're going to be an insurgency. We're going to be those individuals, patriots, defending the U.S. Constitution, which is going to be shredded. So the big picture, we're going to fight, win or lose, and we're going to keep fighting. That's the good news.
And we've got to protect our country. Like right now, it's not over. that hasn't been called yet who's president. We kind of can speculate. And I kind of took the position that Peter Feynman expressed yesterday, which was, don't trust the media. Here it was, even Fox News declared that Biden won Arizona even before all the counts were in. So, I mean, you really, at this point, you can't trust any of the media. And what are they doing, according to Peter from yesterday, for those that listen, is really to promote fear in the public, and also to distort the truth and brainwash us. So, all they're doing is the numbers. I kind of think of like a hurricane coming. All you hear about is the hurricane's coming. It's coming towards us. It's getting more powerful. It's going to be a 5. It's going to be a 5. And then it comes in and it's like a sweeping tropical storm. But meanwhile, they had our attention for days on end, and they promoted fear, and everybody went to the stores and cleaned it out with toilet paper, so that, and to, just load up, and they're controlling our minds by this. So I kind of took the position that I'm not watching mainstream media. However, I'm keeping myself abreast by other means.
But what do you want to do?
Yeah, well, hold on. Well, before we get there, because this is always the mistake people do. They always run out there and go, and because they just want to do something. They run out there and go do something. It's like, hold on. First of all, whenever you're trying to solve a problem, any problem out there, you have to define the problem before you can fix it. You don't fix something that you don't know what you're fixing. It makes a lot of people just try to go, I'm going to fix it. Well, what is broken? So I'm asking the question to both of you guys: what is broken, and what do we need to fix? So let's define the problem first. What is the problem? What is broken?
Well, I can tell you what's broken is that there has been strong evidence of voter fraud in 7 key states. There was a winner, and that was Donald J. Trump. And then all of a sudden, there were votes that were found. There were ballots found. And if you want to look at the recent history of what occurred by this opposition force, that first we have Russia collusion that is imposed upon our president. We have fake impeachment. Then we have COVID.
Are you reading notes?
If you had
notes?
Yeah, because I come prepared.
All right.
And then what happens is you have COVID. Isn't it so perfect? If you had to make a movie, couldn't you say, hey, China creates this bioterrorist attack. It hits the whole world. This fear, media tells us every day, 300,000 people, the cases are higher and higher and higher. Stay home, stay home. And then what happens is we have to have mail-in ballots. Perfect timing, mail-in ballots, where we had computers before, which was more sophisticated, and now we have mail-in ballots. And then what happens? They're counted 7 o'clock. The counts should end. Anybody who's in line voting gets to vote because they were in line by 7 o'clock. And there are laws that state that that's the way it should occur. And then all of a sudden, busloads come in of more votes. So what's the problem? The problem is voter fraud.
I have the next question.
Amen.
But he hasn't answered my question yet.
I have the next question. Would you consider a puppy?
Would I consider a
puppy? Would a puppy dog help you now?
What am I in group therapy? I'll tell you, I said
puppy
this.
Dog help? Those what do they call them? Therapy dog.
Therapy dog. Yeah. Well, you know what is, as I said this morning when I came in, is that when you do go online, go on social media, wherever you go, you have somebody who is stating what they perceive is occurring, no matter what talk show.
You said a lot, but you didn't answer
my question. My question is, what's the problem? What's the immediate? Well, everything that you described to me.
Let's go to the other girl up north.
Yeah,
the girls.
Everything you described to me is a future problem. It's a future problem we can solve. Like
I said, voter fraud.
But that's future, because that's not today.
No, voter fraud.
That is today.
That's what's going on right now.
But you're talking about mail-in ballots, changing the mail-in ballots. That's already done.
Right, it's being investigated.
Okay, Mary, go ahead. Let Mary talk.
No. Anna, I'm sorry. Susie is right on. She is absolutely correct. She answered your question. You're just not accepting it.
No,
it's voter fraud. And what they're trying to do now is fraudulently have an election I mean, Biden's own words said he's created this greatest campaign of voter fraud that they can possibly, it's in his own words. He told us, yeah, the man's an idiot, but he told us he was creating voter fraud, and they have proven that they are doing it. There's video out there. There's people that are seeing it. It's proven. So I don't know what your question could be any different to get that kind of an answer. So what do we do about it?
Yeah,
exactly what Peter Feynman said. We've got to go into these contested towns, cities, states, and get them to prove that they are legal votes.
Okay.
So that's where they've got to have the court cases and it's going to be decided by the courts. He said that yesterday, and I fully believe that's where we're going to end up.
So do I grab my pitchfork and go somewhere, or what do I do?
Well, what some of the folks that I've been following, national security folks, and you're going to be interviewing one Monday, are saying we need to show our support for the president. Get out, get these rallies going, start them now. Don't wait. Don't sit behind your little computers or your TVs and just tearfully sit there and cry and whine. Get out there and show your support for the president and let him know that you are 100% behind him.
I think I agree with you, Mary, and I think if we are just silent and sit back, it's as if we've resigned ourselves.
That's right.
Put our lives in the hands of people who are the ones that have really contributed to the fraud. So, it's like sitting back and just resigning ourselves, and that's it, and going with the flow like sheep.
Yep. And part of the fraud is them calling Arizona when there was only about 80% in. Part of it is that they're calling already Georgia, and it's at an exact tie according to one of the websites I'm looking at. It's almost a straight on tie. So how is it that they can call states like that without having the full information in front of them?
Well, I know what the left would do. They'd be burning cities right now.
They are.
I'm saying, but I mean, are you saying we should burn down cities or just go?
Oh, no.
Well, we don't promote violence. When we say fight, we mean to stand up for ourselves and do what it is, verbally, and make sure that our positions are known, and not just sit back and just watch the news. Sit on a couch. So it's really fighting with our pen, fighting with our mouths, and making sure that our positions are known.
I have a phone and I have a pen. Gee, where did that come from, huh?
That's true. What do you think? What are you being so quiet about? You want a puppy dog?
I need a therapy dog.
Tom is the puppy dog.
I'm listening. It's very interesting. As I said, at 9:16 in the morning on Friday the 6th, Tom Trento here with J. Mark. Wild Mary. We got Wild Mary up there, aggravated because she lives in Georgia, crazy state of Georgia.
And here's the question I've got for all of you is how is it a state as large as Georgia can be almost 95% red, and they pull out a couple of counties that are blue, and all of a sudden it's the entire state goes for Biden? How is that? Tell me how that works.
Yeah. Well, how did that happen? How did that happen?
I got breaking news. Hang on, breaking news. Michelle just texted me because she doesn't have your number, I guess.
Oh, okay.
She texted me.
Oh, she's going to give me her puppy?
Yeah. Mark, let me get this to you. I'm going to get this to you. And you can put it up and it'll make more sense. Let's see.
Is that Damon's got his puppies too.
Oh, Damon.
Is that Damon?
No.
Yeah, it is Damon. It's Damon.
Where'd that come from?
We got more puppies.
We're getting puppies. Everybody's texting us puppies. Let me find you, Mark, here. I get so many stupid texts. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to send it to you. It's 9:17 in the morning. Tom Trento, your host on this wonderful, beautiful Friday, where it's going to start raining, and it's going to rain for the next 5 days with a hurricane, whatever the heck.
Here's a good meme that just came out. It goes,
Damon with his puppies.
Here's a good meme that just came out. Bibi just called Trump to offer America a two-state solution.
Yeah, that is good. Bibi Netanyahu called Trump and says, I got a two-state solution for you. Not a bad idea. Mark, look at the picture I sent you. It's not Michelle's. It's Karen's dog.
Oh,
Layla,
Karen's
that's the one
dog.
that's
Oh,
been
that's the
here.
one that was here.
Yes, put that one up. And at 9:18 in the morning, I have asked Susie Gold, who's a bit frustrated with all of this, like all of us are, if a therapy dog would work. And we have one of our Jexit friends, Karen, who is offering Layla. Layla will be up on the screen in a second.
Well, that'll be helpful
for you for the weekend.
That'll be
because it's
helpful.
going to get worse over the weekend because
Right.
you know what the media are going to do, don't you?
You're right. Yeah.
What are they going to do?
They're going to be out there, and they may even claim that Biden won.
They'll call for
Mhm.
Biden over the
Yeah.
weekend. It's going to be called for Biden over the weekend by the media, one of the media outlets. They're having in their corporate room, we want to be the first. Everybody wants to be the first,
Right.
but we don't want to be the first to screw up. So as soon as they think, and they got people all over the place, they got this.
But how can they?
Oh,
I
look what's on
feel
the
better
screen
already.
there.
Look at that sweetheart.
There's Layla. What a cute little dog. For
Layla.
our viewers, this miniature dog that fits in your pocket.
Oh yeah, it's not a dog.
It's more stuffed animal.
It's a stuffed animal.
With a-
Take a look at my therapy dog.
It's a therapy dog for Susie Gold.
I feel better. Oh, we have another one. Oh, Mary's dog too.
Oh,
Mary sent
okay.
hers.
Put that one up. We'll put all the pictures up. Send it to Mark.
Oh, how
and Damon's.
cute.
We're collecting therapy dogs today, ladies and gentlemen, for very, very frustrating.
Mark
It's in
should
your
have it.
text, Mark.
Mark, you should have
got
it.
it.
I got it.
All right, and what I'm going to do, I wanted the audience to take a peek inside some of our frustration and thinking here, and then I'm going to try to.
There's Mary's therapy.
I'm going to set a context for maybe an avenue for channeling the frustration without pitchforks, as Mark referenced earlier. But this is tough stuff. This is tough stuff because it is clear. Oh, there's a therapy dog there. That's Mary's.
Oh, look how
Then,
sweet.
I would tell her you're in.
Yeah.
Okay. All this stuff. I'm mumbling because I'm getting a lot of texts and I'm answering the texts
Mhm. Yeah,
because I'm a
you are.
professional
Yeah, you
while
are.
I'm talking
Yep.
and drinking. This is just
What's in
Perrier.
that drink?
Perrier
Maybe
today.
that's why you're so calm.
Perrier
Yeah,
today.
right, Perrier.
CBD oil.
You sure it's not Grey Goose?
No, not great. Okay. But what we are doing is next week, regardless of what happens next Friday, a week from today, we're going to have a party.
We're gonna have a
We're
party.
going to have a party celebrating the accomplishments of our team here in Florida. And then figuring out where to go from here.
We did a
Tell-
great job.
Tell
And for all of our
Susie we can
listeners,
sit
you know
you
that
the-
Florida is a beacon of light for the country in terms of how the election was handled, how the votes were in on time, and how everything was done honestly and with integrity. And that we got Jexit did a phenomenal job getting 41% of the Jewish
Amazing.
vote.
Absolutely amazing.
Voted Republican, which is that is absolutely incredible, and all the work that was done with the evangelical Christians, and like we have to celebrate our successes,
We
and it
absolutely have
truly
to do
truly
that.
was
There's
a
no question.
success.
All right, so here's where I want to go with this right now. For those of you listening out there going, yeah, identify with Wild Mary up north or Susie or Mark, and
Hold on.
this is what a family.
Oh, we got a
get that
kitty
out of here.
cat.
I
Oh,
hate
that's
cats.
Mark's
I
cat.
hate cats.
He's on my
I
side.
actually went with some people to see the play Cats. I think right over here. What a total waste of time! Because
know, it's
But wait a
worst
minute.
movie
Did
on
you,
for a week.
I have to tell you
You
all
have
about
cats,
this.
right?
I have cats. They're outside. I had one cat begging at my door. Gave her food. Next thing I knew, I had five kittens.
But you have no more armadillos or
But
whatever.
I don't
they
have
are.
armadillos.
You don't have armadillos.
No
Or-
more
or
iguanas.
iguanas,
No
that's it.
iguanas.
I'll take
Yeah,
out
but
the
wait a minute. I have to tell everybody about Mark's cat. Mark had trained his cat to make number one and number two in the potty. He has his own bathroom. And it's unbelievable. He doesn't have a litter box. He goes to the potty.
I know. Hey, you can train a cat.
That's pretty amazing.
It's unbelievable. It's incredible. That's a
Okay, breaking
business.
news
You
here.
could start a new business.
Breaking news at 9:23. And for a small fee, Mark will train your cat to do the same.
Wait a
Hey,
minute.
no
We're
kitty
talking
litter.
about fundraising. That we
There
could
you
use
go.
that as fundraising.
Yeah.
Hey, would you donate the money that you get from the training?
All right. back to serious stuff.
All right.
Enough
Yeah,
jocularity.
it's Friday. Yeah, we don't
Enough
be-
jocularity.
Jumping Juma.
Yeah. All right. A little bit about me. Okay. A little bit about
Oh, good.
me.
Okay.
I discovered this a very long time ago, but and I haven't analyzed it in any psychological way. It's just a fact of the way I am, my character. When things there's a corollary response as things get crazy, whatever it may be, large picture, immediate picture, my body starts slowing down. Actually, starts slowing down. The more intense and difficult and hectic or dangerous a situation is. I used to race cars, so some of that maybe came from there. I don't know, but my body slows down and it goes into big picture mode. All right, and I actually see all the little pieces and how they fit together and what makes sense, what doesn't. And I normally, because I'm working with a team, lay this stuff out and from a team point of view to get everybody's perspective, and then out of that comes a plan of operation usually. But I've been talking to a few people lately. Person yesterday talked to, and the thing was, we gotta go here, the president did this and that, and I'm trying to calm this person down. Like, let's take a step back. Where are we going? What are we doing? And why are we doing it? A proper analysis. So looking at this situation right now, I did put some notes together. I'll share them. And somebody sent me Dick Morris's little ditty that he did. He laid out some facts. I think he hit a couple of good points. I'll lay them out. And it's all in what can we do now? What can we do now? It's answering that. In the big idea that we laid out, fight, win, lose, draw. There's no draw. Win, lose, continue to fight. Dick Morris mentioned that there's a possibility. I think this is a long shot, but there's a possibility that the state legislators, the legislature, the whole thing, and the legislators, the individuals, they have state constitutional authority to supersede some of these states, the actual vote, and they can select as electors who won their state. I don't even know if that's ever been used. It may have been used maybe once or twice.
Well, it has to be used under massive voter fraud, and what they do, they said, okay, there's so much election fraud going on. We've delegated this choice to the legislators, and they actually send the electors to the House.
Yeah, but it somehow bypasses the proper channel, which is the judicial channel, the court channel. So there's a presumption there, and this is getting a little, this is Civics 101. There is constitutional authority for the people elected to the state to say, I don't care who got what, we're giving this presidency to Joe Biden or to Donald Trump. They have that constitutional authority. Whether or not they exercise it, there'd have to be a massive, crazy situation of voter fraud or some irregularity that for some reason wasn't resolved in the court. And I don't know what that scenario would look like. So I'm kind of discounting the legislators stepping in Georgia and saying Donald Trump won because of the Republican.
Well, if we didn't have the Supreme Court, then that would probably be the option.
If we had a district court or an appellate court versus appellate court in different states, and there was confusion, very possibly the legislature would move at that point. It was actually discussed here in 2020 when, remember how tense everything was? 2020. In 2000,
that was Bush,
in
right?
Palm Beach, Bush Gore, and immediately it was like, whoa, that's a powder keg. You start doing that and you override the voters and let's solve the voter issue. And then we went back with the magnifying glasses looking at the Chads, that guy's big eye that was out there.
Well, here's a scenario in reverse, the way it could happen, the way you're talking about. Let's say they stop the vote count on this hour and date and time because there's too much vote. There was no verification by people coming in.
They stopped it? Who's they?
The Supreme Court.
Oh, okay.
The Supreme
Court went up to the court.
Went up to the court, and the court says, okay, at 3:42, that is when you wouldn't allow the people.
On the 5th of November,
that's
nothing after that.
All right. And let's say somehow Biden won Pennsylvania. Now, the state legislature of Pennsylvania could come in and say, "Screw you, Supreme Court. Screw everybody. Biden is our guy."
I don't see that happening.
But that's reverse way. But it's the same type of theory, but in reverse. Now, how would we feel if that happened to us like that? We would be, apoplectic. But that's what if that scenario comes out, the left is going to go nuclear. I
don't think a state legislature is going to supersede the Supreme Court. That's really asking for. That's why the Supreme Court is there. That's really asking for trouble.
Yeah, well,
why did you kick? It's a possibility.
What are you talking about? Asking for trouble? They kicked out the people coming in to do the poll watching. They said, no, after a court said, you guys have to let these guys 6 feet away. And they said, no, we're not letting them go.
That's one of the lines of evidence. We'll get into it. But in 1860, there were these kinds of discussions. And guess what? Country split in half.
Yep.
So we're trying to avoid splitting in half, and the other side would love it.
Real quick, Tom. We're in a civil war right now, by the way.
We are.
The end of the Civil War is when the bullets start flying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it more technically, it's a cultural war. We have two cultures.
No, it's a civil war, Tom. It's a civil war. There's two. There's two states here. BB's right. We need a two-state solution.
Yeah, but when you use the term in America, civil war, you think of guns.
Fighting.
That's what you're thinking.
That's where we're heading.
We're in a cultural war that could lead to a kinetic civil war.
To the
Absolutely.
end. Yes.
All right. So the legislature could step in right now. People want to do something. You can go contact your legislators, and I'm going to read you some stuff about DeSantis here. But the next level of resolution for the problem is what? The obvious level. How do you resolve who won? Courts.
The courts.
The courts. These are legal issues. We fought them for hundreds of years on voter irregularities and all of that. The court system has to play out. There's local courts, and then there's a higher court, a district court, then there's appellate courts, and the Supreme Court. Everything is accelerated in a time like this because of the immediacy of it. So that's where this battle has to take place. But the question is, it's like you're in a war, and there's a big battle over there, and we all want to fight because we're warriors. Well, we sent battalions of people to fight it. We're back in the fort, and we're frustrated. Those guys are fighting it. There's nothing we can do right now but pray, like Peter said. We have the best of the best right now, according to Peter Feynman yesterday, and according to everything I'm seeing, out on the front lines, implementing and fighting the judicial battle.
Like the governor of Georgia, the state legislatures of Georgia, those really great people that are out fighting.
No, that's
but you know what's very encouraging is what Peter Feynman said yesterday, and that is that the Republicans, the Republican Party, Trump, they knew that this was going to occur. There were rumblings about this way before this November 3rd, so they were prepared, and they have lawyered up. They are in all of the states. And what do we all want, really? We are one country. But what we want is to make sure that this is a fair and free election. And what needs to be done is for there to be certainty at the end of this, that this was that we have faith in our country. We have faith in our system, in our voting system. And you know what? It's encouraging to know that they have lawyered up and to make sure that this, when it does go to the courts, that it's done fairly. And then we have to accept that decision.
Well, here's the problem with the courts. George Soros, everyone remembers him. He has been, he had about a 10-year plan where he is paying for the election of judges, local judges, district attorneys, for them to get elected who hold his view. And in Philadelphia right now, we have a Soros-soaked first level of a judiciary that basically isn't even responding at that level to when they have a court order and it comes back from Lewandowski or Pam Bondi. They're not letting us in. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Maybe send the sheriff, and the sheriff wouldn't even respond in Philadelphia because you got the people that are running the scam they're the ones who are responsible for policing the scam. So it's a dirty system right there. What do? Do we get the pitchforks out? No, you take it to the next level. That's why we have various courts. So they've moved this to a higher level now. And probably that's what's going to happen if it gets to the Supreme Court. They're going to pick a time and say, sorry, that's the date. Nothing after that counts. I'm comfortable. Are you guys comfortable with the fact that we have a good legal team in place in all the states right now?
Well, I'm comfortable now that we have a Supreme Court that's 5-4.
Yes.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be.
Okay.
Yeah, the Supreme
to
Court.
Establish, so that all of us don't have to get therapy dogs. If we can all agree that we have a very good legal team in place and the legal process will play out, then all right, that you can't ask for anything better than that. The third component that something we can do is what we're doing now: public relations, messaging, communication. The rallies could be out of this group right here. Here's where the governor of Georgia, Mary, your Governor Kemp, has he lost his voice on this? Is he supporting the president? What is he saying?
He's not saying a word, and that is so disgusting. How dare him sit back and be quiet on this? This is when we need him most, and he's trying to sit back and let everybody else fix it, and that's just not right.
Well, this is where the people of Georgia need to go to Atlanta, the state capital, surround the governor's building, and start giving pro-Trump rallies.
That's right. That's right.
So he has to come out and address the problem, and the state legislatures have to come out and address the problem.
Peaceful protests.
Peaceful protest in front of the Atlanta State Capitol building, I think, is a great
and even the voice that was so strong as a Democrat in Georgia, Vernon Jones, he literally 2 days ahead of the election had some interview that I saw where he had behind him literally statements across this board behind him that said Democrats lied to blacks. And he's been pro-Trump. He spoke at the convention. Democrat for Trump, and he's silent.
Yeah. All right. Tom Trento here, 9:35 in the morning on this wonderful Friday where it's going to start raining for the next 40 days and nights. I think we're going to have a drenched weekend here in South Florida because some crazy macaroni spaghetti hurricane is making its way around South America,
coming from
Cuba,
the west
coming
Florida,
back and coming right here. So we got to put that over there because we have a leaky ceiling. Good time for a 30-second
promo.
Yeah. 30 seconds.
So you know what we have, what Tom is pointing to, which no one could see. There's a big blue bucket and there's a hole in the ceiling. And so when it rains, guess what? The rain comes through the ceiling and it gets collected in a blue bucket, which is a big blue bucket. But you know what? That blue bucket could easily get filled up over the weekend. But, this is what we're living in. There's probably freaking mold around here. Here's the bucket.
There it is.
But,
the blue bucket.
Yeah.
Just in case it gets caught.
Double rain.
Tom,
how much? I'm sorry, Mary. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Anna.
Well, I just wanted to finish. I just wanted to say that for those, those know that what we're doing here is we don't get any money. This isn't about money for us. This is about the cause and the cause for freedom, for American values, for our Constitution, and to ensure that those are adhered to. That's what we fight for every day. This isn't about moving up the ladder of success and monetarily. This is about making sure that you get the right message, that we can't trust the mainstream media. And as I heard over and over again yesterday, as I was Googling and as I was listening, I was on Facebook some and got some messages, is that what? Oh, stop it. You're so freaking mean to me. Do you know what they do? They go like this, and that means shut up.
Go ahead, Tom. I cut her
Leave
off.
her alone.
We need money. We need money. We need donations so that we could pay our bills, so that we can keep bringing you the correct information, because you're not going to get it in mainstream media. Was that good enough? Did you tie your hands behind your back? You're so mean to me. Give me that puppy.
I'm muting her again.
Pussycat.
Throw his cat at him. Throw his cat. It's
You're good.
9:38, and sometimes when Susie is making her point and making her point and making her point, Mark
Don't
goes like this.
stop.
Come on,
Don't
come on,
stop.
come on. Wind it up.
Susie,
wind it
you're
up.
great. Susie, you're great.
You know what, Mary? You and I are going to do that to Mark. We're going to do
That's
it
right.
right over his head.
That's right.
I'm going to tie your hands on that chair.
All right, Mary
Hey.
has something to say. Yes.
Yeah,
ma'am.
I want to add this in so that everybody who's listening and watching this, there was a 4 p.m. Eastern yesterday, Georgia Grassroots conference call with Bill Stepien, Justin Clark, and Jason Miller. And one of the key things out of that conference call was that there is a hotline, fraud and abuse hotline that everybody needs to have.
That's a good
So
idea.
let me give that number right now. It's 888-630-1776. Let me read it again. 888-630-1776. It's a fraud and abuse hotline that they want people calling to present what is going on in their state. So I thank them for that. It was a brief update. Said that they believe Arizona is going to be Trump. It continues to cut into the Dems, and they're confident that they're going to win Arizona, North Carolina, and Georgia. They believe that's going to be a win for Trump as well. And Pennsylvania, the data shows Pennsylvania is going to be for Trump. And they said all of that information is from data. It's not from their gut.
And that data is going to have to be argued in courts, most likely in some of these states.
What happened? You just went quiet. I don't hear you.
Mm-mm.
Mark, whatever you're doing.
I got it.
9:40. I got it. He's got it.
Go
He's
like
got
this.
it. Yeah.
Go like this, Mark.
9:40 in the morning. Tom Trento, Susie Gold, Georgia Peach Mary. Georgia Peach Mary, I got a bone to pick with you. In 2018, Stacey Abrams ran against Brian Kemp, and basically 4 million votes. And she lost by 55,000 votes. This is 2 years ago, and she never conceded. I think she still thinks she's the governor.
She does.
She went to work, and this year, 2 years later, in your little state of Georgia, 1 million more people voted. Total of 5 million people voted. It looks very clear to me that the Democrats may have outworked the Republicans in the state of Georgia in the past 2 years, which is unheard of because the state has never voted for a Democrat since I think it was Clinton back in 1990. What is going on in your state, and help us understand this?
Well, Stacey didn't get caught in a drug-infested sexual triangle, so she's still out there trying to prove that she won the governorship of Georgia. So people, the Republicans here in Georgia are clueless. They really are clueless. They just think that it's going to be a given, and they are not ready to fight back on this. And she is so dangerous for the state of Georgia, for the entire United States.
Well, if you listen to the cable guys, man, the smirks they have, Jake Tapper and Chris Cuomo and all these people, they got these gigantic smirks. They keep going back to Georgia. Hey, it's a Republican governor, a Republican legislature, a Republican attorney general. Where's the fraud, everybody? Don't you think they'd be saying, and it's a very good argument, wouldn't these guys be saying there's fraud in Georgia? I think Georgia maybe is not a fraud issue at this point. I haven't seen evidence.
Oh.
So have you seen evidence of fraud in Georgia?
Well, actually, I just got a call and I heard that there are people there's something about curing the ballot. I haven't completely figured that out. They are curing the ballot, which means that people have an opportunity to go in and make sure that their ballot is correct. So there's some of that going on the Democrat side, but there's also some that needs to happen on the Republican side. So there is some trickery
the curing
going on.
Curing the ballot gets sick. So you give it to the doctor. The curing the ballot may or may not be legitimate. Again, you need observers. if you mail in your ballot, you got to sign it and you got to date it. Some people, forget to date it, or they date it and the 11 looks like, or the 10 looks like it could be a 9, and they get the person to say, what is that? Is that a 9, a 10, 11? Oh no, that's supposed to be a 10, and it was dated properly. They get the person and they check it off. It's all checked. I don't have a problem with curing the ballot. Maybe conceptually there may be a problem, but right now they're doing that on both sides. So I think Georgia may just be a case of being outworked, which is a problem. This lady was pissed and she did a lot of work and maybe got more votes. We'll see. But
well, I think a big part of it too is, and I don't know about other states where they've got a Libertarian Party, but they've got a Libertarian in Georgia. Or not in Georgia, but yeah, there's a Libertarian that
63,000 votes.
61,383 is what I'm seeing right now on this report. So those counts right there could have been a real game changer. What
Look, we are
I understand, the opportunities that are given to us, and we all can run for whatever party we want to run for, but this was too critical of an election.
Way too critical. There are areas of very apparent voter fraud. Some places in, I think it was Wisconsin, Michigan, there's more votes cast than voters. These kind of irregularities, or you get a dump of votes, you get 20,000 votes overnight, and all of them are for Biden. None of them are for Trump. So these are red flags, obviously. And if you start in 2015, when Donald Trump came down the escalator and everybody said, we're going to take him out. And then the whole 2016, when impeachment started before he even really was running. And then when he ran, I think it was published 19 seconds after the election. I think it was the Washington Post said the impeachment process must start. Then we went to Russia, Ukraine. The impeachment was February of this year. Everybody's forgotten.
Yeah.
February of
That's
this year,
right.
the president of the United States was impeached by the House, acquitted by the Senate. So he stayed as president, but it was relentless, all the attacks on him. And if you look at the Democrat Party, and I'm arguing now from a circumstantial or presumptive perspective in terms of putting into context voter fraud. Listen to this. The Democrats, by their policies, there may be individual Democrats that don't believe what I'm going to tell you, but the policies of the Democrats follow exactly what I'm talking about here. The policies, they hate God, they kill children, they burn flags, the American flag, they loot stores, they deny science, they repudiate the Constitution, they're disgusted with the concept of the exceptionalism of America. They suppress free speech. They suppress religious freedom. I can go on, but I would ask, do you think it's theoretically possible that people that live and breathe this way, that have a 3.5-year history of going after the president, you think they would consider at all cheating in the election to get rid of this guy they can't stand? Is that something that's a theoretical possibility?
I'll take it one step further.
If you look at CNN, there's nothing. There's no sign of fraud anywhere. Nothing anywhere. I'm going, where are these people looking? What, Mark?
I'll take it one step further. Look at how they refuse the report on Hunter Biden, how they refuse. You think that they're not beyond cheating? If you want to take it to the Clinton administration and the Jeffrey Epstein situation, they're killing him in prison. Everybody knows he was whacked in prison, but are they going to report on that? No.
I have a friend from China, and he was telling me yesterday that in China, that's what's all over the headlines is the Biden, the whole family and all the corruption. That's on a regular basis. And here you don't even hear about it. We're not hearing about Hunter.
So putting a fine point on all of this, yes, the Democrats have a propensity to do evil. We've couched our battle, spiritual battle for America. Remember what Joe Biden, what his motto has been in his campaign? He kind of copied ours a little bit.
No malarkey.
No. Battle for the what of the nation.
The heart
Soul of the nation.
The soul, the battle for the soul of the nation. The audacity of both of them who have no faith whatsoever. It's a phony faith, both of them. The audacity of them to say the battle for the soul of the nation. Well, I think we co-opt their motto right now, and we are battling for the soul of this nation because in a very fundamental way, the concept of one person, one vote, freedom. I mean, we fought a civil war over this stuff. We have the suffrage laws for women going back to the 1800s, 1860s, and women getting a right to vote. All of this voting is so critical. It is in essence, an aspect of the soul of the nation. That's what we're fighting for now.
Tom,
that's why we have to continue to fight. And the fight is going to be a legal fight. It's going to come down to that. Could we increase our messaging and try to get in some of these states the legislators and the leaders out? Absolutely. That's something we need to do. And I think if we watch what happens over the weekend, and most likely the press, some aspect of the press is going to say,
I disagree with you.
He's the presumptive nominee. He's the presumptive president. Then and here's where my big picture capability comes in. Then we say, all right, now we got better targets where we can go after things more clearly. Sometimes you gotta save your gunpowder for when the target comes right in the kill zone, and then you can go after it.
We're not battling for the soul of the nation, Tom. I completely disagree with you 100%. We're battling for our nation, period, full stop.
Yeah.
This country is going to go, you want to see all kinds of socialism take over and stuff, just let these guys get in power. And it might actually be good to put them in power and show how much this country is going to burn over the next 4 years.
Yeah, but I'd rather. What would that do?
That's like saying, that guy's such a bad pilot. Let him fly the plane.
Yeah, watch.
Prove it to everybody.
The forest
it's just going to crash.
Maybe this forest has to burn down before it regrows.
Well, if we weren't in the airplane when the bad pilot
we're in the forest.
So,
we got to prevent the crash. Do what we can to help soften the blow.
I don't want to indicate in any way that I don't have faith. And I think Peter's words, his closing admonition, get on your knees and praise. I've been doing that. And there is a path, but if it doesn't, and we've done this at the United West for many years, we we specifically, if we're going somewhere into a dangerous situation, a mosque situation or dangerous neighborhood, or flying on an airplane and figuring if there's bad people there, or running around in the Middle East somewhere, we would say, all right, if this happens, what about that? And we do worst case scenarios and we come up with solutions. I've been working on a plan if those guys get in, and it's actually a pretty good plan. And I won't reveal the plan yet because we'll talk about it first as an organization. But I think it's a plan that could, in the long run, if Donald Trump loses this battle, doesn't mean we lost the war. In the long run, if you implement a proper plan against the other side, we're in insurgency. The war could be won 4, 6, 8 years from now by people protecting the Constitution. That's what it comes down to.
Hey, Tom, can I throw something in real quick? I found a website last night, and it's called thepresidentialprayerteam.org. thepresidentialprayerteam.org. And it's a really good website for praying for this nation, praying for the president. And you click on a little button they've got on it, says Inner Prayer Room. It's 7x24 prayers from people calling in on it to actually pray for President Trump, pray for the murder of aborted babies, pray for this nation, pray for the election system. I think it's a really good website I'd like to offer up to everybody as well.
One more time, Mary.
The Presidential Prayer Team. And I'm sorry, the is not in the actual web link. Presidentialprayerteam.org is the link.
The Democrats have something like that?
It's been out there apparently for quite a few years. I can't find the exact date that it started, but it's a pretty good website for praying for this nation and the election in 2020.
Yeah, prayer is very, very interesting. I mean, what does prayer do? It changes God's mind. Yeah, there's some indication in the Bible, but typically prayer aligns you with God's will. When you're praying, meditating, reading His word to us, the scriptures, and then we speak to Him through prayer. When you engage in that sort of very personal, very dynamic, very real, supernatural experience, the whatever thoughts or ideas you had going in, as you stay in an attitude of prayer, they coalesce and they align with God's vision. You start to see things differently. And then come hell or high water, the bullets could be flying, the fires could be burning. There's as Mark Twain said, you have the calm confidence of a Christian with 4 aces, which is pretty good when you're aligned with the will of God through prayer. And there may be some bumpy water and choppy air and hot fires in the days and weeks ahead. But again, that's what we're made for. We can deal with this. When you're a believer, you can deal with this. So I can do all things through God who strengthens me. So anyway,
amen.
Yeah, good little look into our psyches, our life. Mary, your thoughts?
My thoughts on all of it? Good. That'd take a whole lot more time than what we've got, but I'd be seeing Mark with the wrap it up sign.
Come on, Mary.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm putting up your presidential prayer team.
Yeah, prayer, I think, is key. One of the things that we as conservatives believe in. And so prayer is going to be good. I think rallies in support of the president are going to be good. And absolutely, you see fraud and abuse, call this hotline.
All right, we have Rich Higgins on Monday. Rich wrote the book, The Memo. He wrote
for a radio audience, it's 888-630-1776, like 1776. 630-1776.
That's the fraud and abuse
hotline. Rich Higgins on Monday, and he's been doing a lot of work on this issue, the deep state. We'll keep him as our guest. By Monday, we'll have a better perspective, a bigger picture of the level of fraud and the evidence. I mean, we can see anecdotal situations, but in a court of law, you have a trier of fact, either the judge or the jury. They try the facts. Facts have to be presented. If you have a factual case, a material case that is beyond reasonable doubt, you win. The burden is upon the person bringing the plaintiff, bringing the case. That's what we have to do. We have to show it and prove it. And if we can't, then either we failed at that or there wasn't sufficient evidence of such a degree to make a material case. But we got to be calm. But that doesn't mean we can't get involved in supporting rallies and all that stuff and using this gigantic thing in front of us, a microphone, to make a lot of noise. So anyway, you can close it there, Susie Go, because you have a therapy. You have like 5 therapy dogs now
and a therapy cat.
I'm feeling better just looking at those pictures, But the truth of the matter is like Tom said, we just have to remain calm and also please help us to continue doing the good work that we do, and we need your funds in order to do that. So please write those checks. Go on theunitedwest.org. You could look at former shows that we've done. You can see what other activities are going on with the United West. And please just click on that donate button and give generously. So we really need your funds.
All right, everybody, have a absolutely wonderful weekend.
Yeah,
Shabbat
great weekend.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
I stand with Trump.